Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One and the fully Enlightened One. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be upon you all, friends in the Dhamma. Today I am going to talk to you about a great and compassionate advice given by the Buddha regarding the association with people, especially fool and evil-minded persons. So just before the Dhamma talk today, I would like to wish you all, by the infinite power of the supreme virtues of the Buddha, may you be free from defilement during this listening Dhamma. By the infinite power of the supreme qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may your mind be filled with faith, wholesome energy, concentration and wisdom, and also the contemplative aspect and contemplation in order to understand each and every Dhamma fact found and described in this Dhamma talk. So with that aspiration, I would like to just turn to the topic. It's very important to listen to this Dhamma portion, and also at the end we can have a discussions as well, just relating our experiences connected to this topic. When we go through the Mangala Sutra, from the very beginning the Buddha's advice and instructions starts from a very popular phrase, Asevanacha balanam. Asevanacha balanam, not to associate, not to be with fools and mean-minded, evil-minded persons. Asevanacha balanam. Panditanancha sevana. Find good-hearted, spiritual friends to be with and to associate. Why? This is the ground, this is the basis, this is the foundation of wholesome practice and also a spiritual journey. We should not forget that once the Buddha advised Venerable Ānanda in this way. Once the Venerable Ānanda sitting before the Buddha mentioned in this way, Venerable Sir, it occurred to me like this. This Buddha Sasana is existing for the benefit of human beings and divine beings because of two reasons and two factors. Half of this Buddha Sasana is existing because of the Buddha. The other half is existing because of the Kalyana Mitta. At that time, the Buddha advised Venerable Ānanda, Ānanda, don't say like that. Don't say like that. This whole Buddha Sasana is grounded and based upon the Kalyana Mitta's association. Because of spiritual friendships, Kalyana Mitta's association is the main and foremost and strong ground for the spiritual journey, spiritual practice. You see how kindly and clearly the Buddha mentioned. And also when we just go back to the very first verse and stanza given in the Mangala Sutta, it says, not to do something. You see, it is a negation, the negative side. Not to associate fools and mean-minded. Asevanacha balanam. Panditanancha sevana. Be with good-hearted, wise people. Why? Because based upon this association, we all will be able to just initiate our spiritual journey and travel along this spiritual journey, ultimately we will be able to end the sansaric journey, miserable journey, and attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. That is how the Buddha's advice comes. Here today, I like to have a very famous, well-known Jataka story, but Jataka stories are some lifetimes of the Bodhisattva. How the Bodhisattva, with his strong and great aspiration to become a Buddha, practiced Dhamma and perfections in his previous lives and existences, because it gives us much advice, and also it covers various areas. And as human beings and divine beings, we are not free from associations, and we are not free from the worldly things. We have to just be, we have to work, we have to talk, we have to create thoughts about the worldly matters, families, and sons and children, sons and daughters, parents, wives and husbands, and businesses, and so many things are there. They are worldly. Those are worldly, that's true. But we should have thoughts about those things. So therefore we are not free from the worldly matters when we are living in this world. Therefore the advices and instructions just emerging from the Jataka story is valuable, it's priceless. We can just apply those advices and the Bodhisattva advices into our life, and also we can correct our life. We can just avoid things not suitable for us, and also just take in advices into our heart. We can follow what the Buddha asked us to do, what the Buddha advised us to just follow. So we can turn to the Jataka story. Once the Bodhisattva was born into a rich family in Benares, many thousands years ago. Because of his previous merit power, he was born into a Brahmin clan, Brahmin family. That family was very rich, and they had lands and properties, treasures, and everything was there. Then the parents gave the Bodhisattva a beautiful name, because that birth was very famous. Villagers got to know about the Bodhisattva's birth, and also the townsfolk got to know about the Bodhisattva's birth. And it was fortune and good luck for the family, and also all the generations and the people lived there. Therefore the parents and also the teachers, Brahmin teachers, considering these matters, considering these reasons, they gave the Bodhisattva a beautiful name called Akitti. Kitti means the famous and well-known person. That Kitti, Kirti in Sinhala. Kitti, Akitti is also kind of a supportive word, and Akitti is a very famous, well-known, and also a glorious person. That is a simple meaning. So this Akitti, the Bodhisattva, was born to that family, and also received a very good name, and also the popular name. And he was okay, now was growing. And then after a couple of years, he had another sister. So she was given a name called Yasavati. So the Bodhisattva Akitti and his sister Yasavati grew up and lived there. And the parents kindly looked after them. They had a very luxurious life because they were both born into a rich family. When the Bodhisattva grew up to 16 or 17 years, just quite young, then he was sent to the education center just existed there. And so he got educated, spending few years education center under the well-known teachers, Brahmin teachers. He went back home because he completed his education. And his young sister was there. After some time, the parents died. After parents passed away, the people, or treasurers we can say, the people who looked after their family treasures and wealth came to Bodhisattva and mentioned, "Sir, now your parents and grandparents passed away, and we are looking after treasures and wealth on behalf of the family. That is our career and business. So now the ownership of the old property has come to you. In this village and that village, we have this much of land and properties, and also wealth is this much." And all the treasurers came to him, to the Bodhisattva, and mentioned how much he has, the family has as wealth and treasure. So the Bodhisattva, induced and motivated by his karmic energy from the past existence, what he has practiced, the Bodhisattva thought himself that the owners of this property, owners of this wealth and treasure have all gone. They are no more. They have all gone, departed from this world. When they departed, when they died, they have never taken even a bit of wealth, money and property with them. It will happen to me as well. Even though I take this ownership of this property, I will never take anything with me. The same thing will happen to me. But I should behave wisely regarding this property, regarding this wealth, regarding this money, regarding this gold and silver. I should transform and change these wealth and property and treasures into merit power and wholesome power, so that I can take it along with me when I am going to pass away. In this way, Bodhisattva thought to himself. So then he listened to the people, those who are responsible for the property, and also looked after the wealth for the family. Then he directly went to his sister, Yasavati, and asked her to take the custody of the property. "My sister, please accept the custody and ownership of this property, because I am not interested in keeping these things. You can do whatever you like." The Bodhisattva asked his sister. Then she inquired what Bodhisattva was doing. "My dear brother, what are you going to do now? Just giving all the custody of the wealth to me." Then he mentioned, "Sister, I am not interested, and also I don't like to behave and also to keep this lay life. I would like to hand over to you the ownership of the property. I will live lay life or become an ascetic. That is my choice, that is my interest." So the Bodhisattva wanted to just live a lay life. But immediately, all of a sudden, straight away he can't do it, because he held a social responsibility, because his life, that the Brahmin family is a part of that city and also the part of that country. Therefore, directly he should go to the king and also should take the permission from the king, because they are well-known families. So the Bodhisattva went to see the king of the country, the Benares, got the permission from the king, and also just tried to just live. At that time, something happened. The sister did not like to just take the responsibility of wealth and treasures. She liked to follow his brother. She directly said that, "My dear brother, if you are going to leave these wealth and treasures behind you like a dirt just put out of your mouth, I will never take it on my head. So I will just follow you and also just would like to become an ascetic." So this conversation and also the Bodhisattva's the noble attitude is just quickly spread in the city. Then he made an announcement. Any person, any family, any man or any woman who are interested having property and wealth and money can come to the Akiti Brahmin's house and take what you like. So in such a way, just Bodhisattva Akiti opened the doors for people and for public. And the people started getting to the house, and some people took money, some people took chairs and tables, some people collected the bowls and glass bowls and various things. The Bodhisattva and his sister waited for this house to be emptied for 7 days, but it didn't happen. Continuously for 7 days they kept the building and also the house open, but ultimately decided that it is also a kind of enjoyment to see people coming and taking these things. It is also a kind of desire and greed. Therefore, should not wait for people to come and collect everything. Before that, we should leave. So this statement, the Bodhisattva's behavior regarding his treasure spread quickly. Then also his friends and some townsfolk, people lived in city and connected people, and all friends and family members and some other villagers also joined their journey. A huge group, a big group of people there to follow the Bodhisattva's idea of ascetic life. However, they just left. And they just left towards the south of Varanasi city in North India. And then they ultimately found a place to build huts and create very nice and beautiful serene hermitage for ascetic practices. So they observed the ascetic sila and the virtues, just practice according to the time. Sister also became a nun. In this way, they started their ascetic life, and the other followers also did the same. And it was a very peaceful, very famous hermitage for every one of them. So having heard the Bodhisattva's behavior and changing his life into ascetic life, people started bringing food and gifts, and they provided various things, medicinal things, food and drinks and everything what is required and needed for ascetic life. So that the hermitage and monastery was very famous. Then people, the city people, villagers also started visiting this. It was quite crowded. And if the Bodhisattva lived in the Brahmin house before, only limited number of people just visit occasionally. But now it is not so. Every day, in the morning, the evening, afternoon, every time people started coming and visiting the place because it was such a famous hermitage at that time. Later, the Bodhisattva decided and thought to himself in this way: I left my lay life because I want to practice ascetic practices and meditation. But having come here, what happened? Huge village-like monastery I have had. And the people followed me. And therefore, we have big company and group, and villagers keep coming, and gifts are there. Now we are very famous. Therefore, these gifts are kind of hindrances and also kind of disturbance for this ascetic practice, ascetic life. Therefore, I should leave this village, this hermit, searching, seeking other place. So the Bodhisattva just again went further down. And having known this, his sister also just followed him. Because unknown to any one of the monastery, ascetic hermitage, the Bodhisattva just disappeared. And having gone to the down south, he practiced ascetic practices and meditated there strenuously and seriously. Then the Bodhisattva was able to create psychic abilities to see through the other's mind and also to just travel in this air. Because of his hard practice, he was able to have that supernatural power. Then his sister and also all the other ascetics found that the Bodhisattva had left the monastery and hermitage. Then they just went down in search of the Bodhisattva. And ultimately they found Bodhisattva started another place, and also there he became very famous again. Then the Bodhisattva thought to himself that just living in a group is a hindrance. Living in a group is very harmful for my life and ascetic practice. It is because it is very destructive. You can't grow up in spiritual life. So many noises, sounds and disturbances there. Ultimately, Bodhisattva thought to himself, I better now go to a kind of place where no one knows me. So ultimately, the Bodhisattva, according to this Jataka story, went down to a small island called Snake's Island, that is called Ahidipa, near Nagadeepa, where only Kara leaves and Kara trees are there. In Sinhala we say Karaga. So Bodhisattva went there not in the sea but in the air, because at that time he had that psychic ability to travel in the air. So he landed in that island and found a big Kara tree and started living under that tree, because it's very hot and also surrounded by the great ocean, no food, nothing. Sometimes seasonally Kara trees bear Kara fruits, and sometimes the buds, sometimes tender leaves. The Bodhisattva started living on them. Every day the Bodhisattva just cook only one meal a day. That means he picked Kara leaves, tender Kara leaves, and just boiled it. And then he takes as much as he likes. So in this way he passed days. His virtuous power, his moral energy, virtuous energy is very strong. Why? Because he does not have a desire and any harmful thoughts and aversion to anyone. No one is there to be seen or to meet with Bodhisattva, just only himself living in that island. So because of this ascetic virtue, because of the Bodhisattva's ascetic life, something happened in the divine world. When we go through the divine celestial world, in order there are 6 celestial worlds, starting from the 4 kings above. That means Chatur Maharajika. After Chatur Maharajika, Tavatinsa. Tavatinsa is the word for the goat Shaka. And Shaka occasionally visit human world as well. Occasionally, not every time. Here Shaka has a marble seat that is called Shaka Bhavana. Occasionally, Shaka feels some uncomfortable heat there, so that he cannot sit on it. Then he knows something is going to happen. He knew that someone is practicing, someone is trying to take this throne, take this seat from me. Therefore the Shaka had a kind of doubt. Then from Shaka's divine eye, he searched for what is the cause, what is the reason for this uncomfortable feeling from this seat. So then the Shaka knew that something is happening there in the Snake's Island. Only one ascetic lives there, and his virtuous power is so strong and his virtuous energy, and he had doubt, is he living this ascetic life for this throne or for something else? And Sakka directly did not see his mind, but he wanted to check. Then the Sakka, in the guise of ascetic Brahmin, went down to the Snake's Island. The Bodhisattva on that day was about to have his meal, lunch. The Bodhisattva collected kara leaves and cooked it. As far as I know, kara leaves are not bitter and not hard. It is like papadam. So it is tasty and eatable. And sometimes you can fry it, sometimes you can boil like tea leaves. So the Bodhisattva boiled and cooked it without salt, without spices, was about to take his lunch. At that very moment, the Sakka, in the guise of Brahmin and also just another ascetic, just appeared before his hut. So the Bodhisattva saw this. The Bodhisattva is very eager and interested in giving and practicing generosity. Previously, as a layperson, he gave everything what came to his life from his parents and grandparents. But here, he knew that I do not have money, I do not have anything, but only this meal, only this leaf. Even with this meal, if I can practice generosity, just offering this bit of kara leaves, that also will bring me much pleasure, much happiness. That is the thought the Bodhisattva had. For a long period of time, living in this snake's island, Bodhisattva did not see him, anyone else. But on this occasion, the Bodhisattva found someone else. So Bodhisattva was so glad to offer his meal. And with both of his hands, he took that bowl and offered the cooked kara leaves to that guest. Bodhisattva did not know that he was a Sakka. So Sakka took that meal, and after a few steps, he disappeared. After offering that kara leaves, his lunch, he had much happiness, much pleasure, what he practiced on that very day. So he was so happy whole day. The following day, the Bodhisattva did the same. He cooked another portion of leaves, and then when he was about to eat it, then the Sakka, in the guise of that Brahmin, appeared again. Bodhisattva was so glad and so pleased to see him again. Bodhisattva took his portion of leaves, and with both of his hands he offered that portion to that visitor. Sakka just went away for a few steps and disappeared. The Sakka visit in this way to check, to investigate what is the Bodhisattva's intention, to become a Sakka, to take the Sakka's seat, or for any other purpose. That much only the Sakka wanted to know from that visit. And the second day also, the Bodhisattva was so happy, so pleased by offering his lunch to that guest. The third day, the following day, the Bodhisattva did the same. Now 2 days he did not have meal. And after offering the portion of kara leaves to the guest, the Bodhisattva never cooked again. And the third day, the Bodhisattva did the same. He was physically weak and frail because now 2 days he did not have enough food for the body. But his mind was full of joy, full of happiness because of his practice. So third day, the Sakka again appeared in the guise of a Brahmin. The Bodhisattva was now close to have his meal, similarly as before. So Bodhisattva was so happy to see him again. Bodhisattva gave the portion of food, the kara leaves, to the guest. And that day, the Sakya just talked to the Bodhisattva. Then asked, "Dear ascetic, now for 3 days, you just offer your meal to me. What do you wish for? What is your aspiration? By offering your meal to a guest and ascetic, what is the purpose? What is your wish and aspiration?" Then the Bodhisattva said in this way, "Akittin diswa sammantang sakho bhutapati bravi. King patyang mahabrahme eko sammasi gammani." That is what the Sakya asked. Now in this Snake's Island, no one is there. No one is there to cook food for you. No people in the vicinity. No one comes and goes. Just only yourself living here. And also the environment and also this island is very hot and surrounded by the great ocean. And salty water. There you can't drink water here. Why do you just live this hard ascetic life? What is your purpose and aspiration? Then the Bodhisattva replied to him, because Sakya wanted to know clearly what was his intention. He was fear of his throne to be lost because of this ascetic's virtue. Then Bodhisattva frankly replied to the Sakya, "Dukkho punabbhavo Sakya sarirassacha bhedanang sammoha maranang dukkhang tasma samma vimāsava." That is the Dhamma we can find, we can apply to our life from this Bodhisattva's advice and reply to Sakya. Dukkho punabbhavo Sakya. Bodhisattva knew, Bodhisattva recognized it was Sakya. Dukkho punabbhavo. Rebirth is suffering. Dukkho punabbhavo. Sarirassacha bedana. The breaking up of the body is also bring much suffering. Sammoha maranang dukkha. Just living a life for some years. Ultimately, you have to just leave this body behind. So, at that time, to have painful death is also a suffering. Sammoha maranam dukkham. Sammoha marana means just completely being forgetful. You just being deluded. Your mind being darkened. And that is called sammoha marana. And you just lose your sense and also mindfulness. You are not aware of your life. Sammoha maranam dukkha. So just being unmindful, if you are going to die, that is also a suffering. Tasma sammami vasava. Having understood these factors, I just practice this ascetic life to get away, to stop this punabbhava and also to stop this breaking up of the bodies and also to stop the sammoha marana. That is the purpose, that is the reason, that is why I just practice this ascetic life, just being alone in this island. So the Sakya, having heard this part, this reply, was so pleased. He became quite happy to hear such a wonderful answer. Etasmin te sulapite patirupe subhasite varang kassapate dhammi yankinchi manasichasi. Then the Sakya played in another way and asked him, "O ascetic, etasmin sulapite, what you said to me is clear. It's fairly well. It's excellent. Patirupe subhasite. It was most excellent. Your utterance is excellent, acceptable. Now I am happy to offer you a boon. Varang kassapate dhammi. I will give you a boon. Yankinsi manasichasi. You can ask me. You can wish for anything what you like. I will fulfill it. Choose now a boon, what you prefer. That is what the Sakka said. Now, as a result of that dana performed by the Bodhisattva ascetic, so the result has come to him. The Sakka is standing before him and requesting to ask him a boon and whatever he liked. Varang che me ado Sakka sabbamutana missara. Sakka, the Lord of divine beings. If you are going to give me a boon, varang che me ado Sakka. Now you are going to give me a boon. If you do, yena puttecha dharecha dhanadhanyancha dhanajamnyam piyanicha laddha nara tappanti so lobo ne mai vasse. Sakka, if you are going to give me a boon and fulfill something I want this. What is that? Human beings in this world, just normally average human beings, yena puttecha dharecha dhanadanyam piyanicha. People, when they just lose their sons and daughters, husband and wives, dhanadanyam piyanicha, and their money, property and wealth, and also just friendly people, laddha narana tappanti. People have much greed, much desire, because they have sons and daughters and wealth and money and everything. But their desire is not fulfilled. Still they keep asking, I need much, I need more in this way. So, if you are going to give me a boon, please give me to wish that lobha, that desire will never rise in my mind. That is the Bodhisattva's aspiration. Then, the Sakka was so happy and pleased, hearing the Bodhisattva's utterance and also the answer. Varang che me ado Sakka. Then what happened? The Sakka asked the Bodhisattva to ask any other things he liked. Varang che me ado Sakka sabbamutana mistara. The Lord of divine beings, if you are going to give me another boon, please just take into your mind. Kettang vattung hiranyancha. Gavasang dasa purisang ye jate ena jatena jiyanti so dosu namai vase. Average people have property, fields, and money, and golds, and silver, and some transportations, and servants, and the supporters. When they are going to lose these things, then what happens? They will fall into sadness. Sadness will follow them, and sadness will obsess them. And that is a dosa, that is aversion, that is ill will. So that ill will never come to my mind. That ill will never rise in my mind. If you are going to give me a boon, that is my request. That is what I want to have for my life. Again, the Bodhisattva was happy. Sakka also happy to hear the utterance and advices from the Bodhisattva ascetic. Then the Sakka asked, it is okay, the ascetic. You can ask anything more. I am happy to just give you offer a boon. Then, this is the most important part that we try to cooperate and apply into our life. Varanche me ado Sakka sabbabhutana missara. The God Sakka, the Lord of all celestial beings. If you are happy to offer a boon to me, I like to have that in this way. Balang na passe na suni. Nacha balena sangvase. Balena allapa sallapang na kare nacha rochaye. I do not like to see mean-minded persons and fools. Balang na passe. I do not like to see mean-minded, evil-minded persons, balas. Nasuni, I will never hear about them. Nacha balena sangvate, I do not like to be with evil-minded, mean-minded people and fools. Balena allapa sallapa. May I never have an opportunity, a chance to converse with them, such mean-minded, evil-minded people. Ne kare nacharoche. May I never have even a thought to just be with them, to see them, to talk to them. You see, it sounds horrific, Balang ne passe, may I never see a fool. Nasuni, may I never hear about them. Nacha balena sangvate, may I not have any opportunity to be with them. Balena allap sallap, may I never have time and opportunity to just even exchange few words with them. Ne kare nacharoche. This is my aspiration. Sakka, if you happy, you can give that, you can fulfill that for me. So this is Bodhisattva's reply. The Sakka was amazed, and he was amazed to hear such a strong utterance and statement from the Bodhisattva. Then the Sakka asked in this way, dear ascetic, why you are completely, totally against these fools? What did they do for you? Why you are asking such a boon? Not to associate, not to see fools. What have they done for you? Then the Bodhisattva said, Anayang nayanti dumme do. A fool leads others to destruction, and they are ruined. Anayang nayanti dumme. A fool makes others engage in evil things and miserable, unwholesome things. Adurayang niyujjati. Dunnayo seyo sohoti. Fool regards wrong things as right things. Mean-minded, evil-minded fool regard wrong things, evil things as meritorious things. Right as wrong, wrong as right. They hate it, what is spoken to them friendly. Samma buddho pakuppati. If the fool is advised by wise, they will never take it to their heart. They will see that it is they will hate it. They will hate the wise people, good-hearted people's advice of stopping this. They don't know what the right conduct, what's the wrong conduct. That is the reason why I don't like their company, their association. The Bodhisattva replied this way: not to see them is a blessing. Not to see evil-minded people is a blessing, huge blessing. That is the important advice for every one of us. Then the Sakka was so happy to hear that, because the Sakka was also a kind of being who practiced merit and wholesome things in his previous life. That is why he has been reborn as a Sakka in this present birth. So Sakka could understand the reason why the Bodhisattva was refusing to see fools and be with them. Then again Sakka asked, Varanche me ado Sakka, if you like, you can ask any other boon. I am happy to just give you a boon, offer a boon. You can ask what you like. Then the Bodhisattva said, Varanche me ado sakka sabba bhutana mitsara. Sakka, the Lord of divine beings, celestial beings. If you are going to offer me a boon again, I like to have this. Dhirang passe sune dhirang. I'd like to say wise people. I wish the following happiness. May the wise dwell with me. Dhirang passe. May I see the wise people. Sune dhirang. May I hear about the wise people. Dhirena sa sangvase. May I find time and opportunity to be with them, to associate with them. Dhirena allapa sallapang. May I have the opportunity to talk to them, to converse with them. Tang kare tancharochaye. May I have interest that kind of talks and to be with them. So that is the Bodhisattva's aspiration. Then the king of celestial being Sakha again asks, why you are going to wish for being with wise people in this way? What have they done for you as a benefit to something else? The Bodhisattva's reply was this. The wise people, intelligent, wise, good-hearted people expect the success of others and wish for success for others, prosperity of other people, friends and relatives. The wise does not cause other people to just collapse and jeopardize others. And he regards the righteous things as right, wrong things as wrong. Sunayo seyo hoti samma buddho nekupati. When a wise person, intelligent person, good-hearted person advise and pointed out something as wrong or right, they will accept it as right as wrong. Vinayanso pajanati. They know the discipline. They know how to behave. They know how to behave rightly. Sadhu tena samagamu. I like to be with such intelligent, wise, good-hearted people. So the celestial king Sakha was so happy to hear in this way from the Bodhisattva ascetic. Then again the Bodhisattva was asked by the Sakha in this way. Yes, I am happy. I am happy to give that promise. You can ask me again something if you wish to have in your life. Then the Bodhisattva said in this way, Sakha, the Lord of celestial beings, you have already offered me so many boons. If you are going to offer another boon for me, this is my wish, this is my aspiration. May I never see you again. May I never see you again. Why? Because please do not come to this monastery and this island anymore. Just be with your life there. Why? Because if I just see you again and again, and your beauty, your glory, your brilliant life, the desire for your life may come up in my mind. The desire may arise, greed may rise in my mind if you are going to come here again. Therefore, I like this simple ascetic life. Please do not come to this hermitage anymore. This is my last boon, the last request and also the wish from your boon. So then the Bodhisattva advised in that way and requested the Sakha in that way. The Sakha thought to himself, this ascetic is not going to wish for his throne, but he has something else. What is something else? The Bodhisattva told him frankly, I just like to attain the Buddhahood. I am wishing for the omniscience. My sole aspiration is reaching that, gaining that omniscient knowledge. So other than that, I do not have any aspiration for any worldly purposes. So here the Buddha expounded in the Mangala Sutta very important, very useful, very beneficial advice and the teaching that is called not to associate with evil-minded fools, associate with, be with good-hearted, gentle-minded people. Balang na passe, that is the Bodhisattva's wish. Balang na passe na sune. Why? If you are with low-minded, mean-minded, evil-minded people, even just conversing with them, this is the danger you will have. The negative power of their thoughts will move to you, and also it may gradually transfer to your life. It may just flow into your life. If you talk with mean-minded, evil-minded people for a couple of hours, and also the way they speak, and also the word pattern, then also their tone, their aggressive attitude may just quickly fall into your mind as well. After a few minutes, you may also tend to speak in that way, in that tone. You see how badly and strongly the attitude, bad, evil attitude, just move to the next person. If you are strongly a good-hearted person, then you are safeguarded and protected. There's nothing to be worried about. But if you are not a matured-minded, developed-minded person, in that case you are at risk. That is why the Bodhisattva and also the Buddha taking this Jataka story, the Jataka life, and the Bodhisattva life into consideration here in this last life. The Buddha advised, this is how you should find people to be with and also to associate with. So this spiritual journey, we as monks, lay people, we all have one goal and also one single aim, that is the last, as the getting away from this sansaric journey, put an end to this sansaric journey, and also to realize the supreme Nibbana. So that is our aim, that is our aspiration, that is our goal. And but the way of traveling and also traveling towards that aspiration is different mode and also different speed. As monks, they have speedy power and also the environment to travel along. Meanwhile, lay people have a kind of speed because they are busy with worldly matters and family matters. Therefore, they can't have the same speed as monks do. Anyway, the aim and target and aspiration is the same of both. Their spiritual journey should be started based upon this good-hearted people, the Kalyana Mitta. If you don't find Kalyana Mitta, then you just miss this wonderful and great blissful opportunity of this human life. So I, as a monk, I just consider this very much. I do not like get connected with your mean-minded, even with monks. If they just don't behave in accordance with the Dhamma and Vinaya, then we can't correct them in such a way that we want, and also in such a way that we just consider Dhamma and Vinaya righteously. Therefore, better way, better step that we can take, I can take, is just move away from such bad behaved personality. And also lay people should also highly consider what the Buddha spoke from this Jataka and also from the Mangala Sutta. Our spiritual journey becomes matured, and also we can grow in the spiritual field and in the Dhamma with the noble support from these good-hearted people. So that is my advice here today from this Dhamma explanations. We should not take this Dhamma factor especially for granted. We should regard it highly. So, you may have some questions. We can talk about it later. We can discuss. So, friends in the Dhamma, in this occasion, from Dharmic way, I like to just instruct and also ask you to just regard and consider these Dhamma advice given by the Buddha about the wise, noble-minded people association. And also I wish you all to find very good, noble, pure-minded friends and spiritual friends, and also to just have a very peaceful journey along this noble Dhamma path. Ultimately, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. That is my sole aspiration and wish for every one of you today. Thank you very much. Much merit for you all.